It starts with Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Obi-Wan Kenobi is a young Jedi Knight under the tutelage of Qui-Gon Jinn when the Trade Federation cuts off all routes to the planet Naboo, ruled by Queen Padme Amidala. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are assigned by the Republic to settle the matter. Along the way, they meet a 9-year-old boy named Anakin Skywalker and a member of an ancient religious order of Force wielders devoted to the dark side of the Force they thought had been destroyed forever. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. 10 years later, the Republic continues to be mired in strife and chaos. A separatist movement encompassing hundreds of planets and powerful corporate alliances poses new threats to the galaxy that even the Jedi cannot stem. These moves, long planned by an as yet unrevealed and powerful force, lead to the beginning of the Clone Wars and the beginning of the end of the Republic. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. It has been 3 years since the Clone Wars began. Suspicions are raised within the Jedi Council concerning Chancellor Palpatine, with whom Anakin has formed a bond. Asked to spy on the Chancellor, full of bitterness toward the Jedi Council and hoping to save the lives of his wife and unborn children, Anakin embraces the dark side. Solo. 9 years after the Empire takes over the galaxy, a young pilot named Han Solo meets a Wookiee named Chewbacca and joins a heist within the criminal underworld, aided by businessman and scoundrel Lando Calrissian. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi comes out of hiding on Tatooine to save young Princess Leia Organa after she is kidnapped, all the while being pursued by Imperial Inquisitors and his former Padawan, now known as the Sith Lord, Darth Vader. Andor. Roughly 4 years later, Cassian Andor, a thief and scavenger whose home planet, Canary, was rendered uninhabitable by a botched Imperial mining project, and Mon Mothma, a Chandrilan politician, get caught up in a revolution. Rogue One. Galen Erso becomes the Empire's lead engineer for the most powerful weapon in the galaxy, the Death Star. Knowing that her father holds the key to its destruction, Jyn Erso joins forces with Cassian Andor and other Resistance fighters to steal the space station's plans for the Rebel Alliance. Episode 4, A New Hope. Immediately following Rogue One, the Imperial forces, under orders from the cruel Darth Vader, hold Princess Leia hostage in their efforts to quell the rebellion against the Galactic Empire. Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Han Solo, captain of the Millennium Falcon, work together with Chewbacca and the droid duo R2-D2 and C-3PO to rescue the beautiful princess, help the Rebel Alliance, and restore freedom and justice to the galaxy. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. 3 years later, the Rebel Alliance, including Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Chewbacca, face attack by the Imperial forces and its AT-AT walkers on the ice planet Hoth. While Han and Leia escape in the Millennium Falcon, Luke travels to Dagobah in search of Yoda, the Jedi Master. Only with his help will Luke survive when the dark side of the Force beckons him into the ultimate duel with Darth Vader. Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. 1 year or so later, Luke Skywalker battles the horrible crime lord Jabba the Hutt and cruel Darth Vader to save his comrades in the Rebel Alliance and triumph over the Galactic Empire. Han Solo and Princess Leia reaffirm their love and team with Chewbacca, Lando, the Ewoks, and the droid C-3PO and R2-D2 to aid in the disruption of the dark side and the defeat of the evil Emperor. The Ewoks TV movies could go in this slot if they were considered canon. I say they are, but it's really up to you. The Mandalorian Season 1. A decade or so later, the Mandalorian, a lone bounty hunter traversing the galaxy in his ship, the Razor Crest, finds himself in a tumultuous situation when he receives a peculiar job from his contact at the Bounty Hunters Guild, Grief Karga, while on the planet Navarro. The Mandalorian Season 2. New pals Din and Grogu, aka the Child, enjoy a long winding journey in pursuit of the latter's long-lost family. To locate them, Din needs to find more of his own people, the Mandalorians of the planet Mandalore. The Book of Boba Fett. Mercenaries Boba Fett and Fennec Shan attempt to make a name for themselves in the galaxy's underworld by taking over the territory once controlled by Jabba the Hutt on Tatooine. Fett calls upon the Mandalorian Din Djarin to help consolidate his power, while the Child Grogu trains with Luke Skywalker. The Mandalorian Season 3. The journeys of the Mandalorian through the Star Wars galaxy continue. Once a lone bounty hunter, Din Djarin has reunited with Grogu. Meanwhile, the New Republic struggles to lead the galaxy away from its dark history. The Mandalorian will cross paths with old allies and make new enemies as he and Grogu continue their journey together. Ahsoka. Ahsoka Tano, former apprentice of Anakin Skywalker, teams with old allies Sabine Wren and Hera Syndulla to investigate an emerging threat to a vulnerable galaxy. Episode 7, The Force Awakens. 30 years after the defeat of the Galactic Empire, Han Solo and his young allies Rey, a scavenger from Jakku, and former stormtrooper Finn face a new threat from the evil Kylo Ren and the First Order. Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Luke Skywalker's peaceful and solitary existence gets upended when he encounters Rey, a young woman who shows strong signs of the Force. Her desire to learn the ways of the Jedi forces Luke to make a decision that changes their lives forever. Meanwhile, Kylo Ren and General Hux lead the First Order in an all-out assault against Leia and the Resistance for supremacy of the galaxy. Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. When it's discovered that the evil Emperor Palpatine did not die at the hands of Darth Vader, the rebels must race against the clock to find out his whereabouts. Finn and Poe lead the Resistance to put a stop to the First Order's plans to form a new empire, while Rey anticipates her inevitable confrontation with Kylo Ren and the dark side itself.